Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And it's the 4th, and I wish everyone an absolutely awesome day today, no matter what it is that you're getting up to. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for spending a little bit of your 4th with me. So, happy 4th of July, and today is Eiffel store. I've got a bit of a croaky throat, and I'm using these. Now, I have cut them apart. This is the little seahorse, octopus, crab, and jellyfish set. It's very, very sweet. So we're making a cute card. And when I say we're making a cute card, I am going to attempt something for the first time ever today. And that could be a disaster. So anyway, to go with those, I'm using my sort of like lined frame that I got in a set in a personal haul a couple of months ago, and this is 4.5 by 6.5, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Comes with little square frames, circle frames, photo corners, and if they're still doing it, I'll put a link below. Right, so we're going to use those two. Now, to complement that, I'm going to be using Mermaid Lagoon, which is this colour here, and I'm also going to be using antique linen, this colour here. So as you can see, we kind of got the sea and the sky and the sand going on with those two shades. So those are what I'm going to be doing. Oh, and these are the ink pads, right? Get my throat back again. So these are the ink pads, and I've also got a blendy doodah because I'm going to need that. Right, so I have done a little bit, and first of all I'm going to move these out of the way because we're going to need to colour the base of what I'm getting up to. Dollar Tree sticky tape, and I'm putting down my scruffy mat. Now, as I said, I've never done it before, so it could be absolutely atrocious. So first of all, what I've done is I've cut a card base, which is 6.5 by 4.5, which is the size of that frame. And then I've cut 2 of those frames because I felt that I'd need something sturdy. So that one is going to be glued down onto there eventually. And then this one will go on top. Now, that is a really lovely sort of ocean blue sparkly glitter from Michael's. I think it's a die cuts with a view pack. So that is basically the frame. Now what's going here is I'm just going to divide that in half, or maybe a little bit more for the sand, a little bit less for the sky, and this is what I've done. Right, food saver. A food saver is a kitchen gadget, yes it is, and you can vac seal and then seal your food before putting it in the freezer or the fridge, and it just, you know, makes the life of your storage a bit longer. So I thought I was going to fill mine with water, a little splash of ink, and bung, yes, there's a good word, a load of sequins in there. Now, I don't know. There we go. I think that's a better image. So I've got pearls, I've got shells, I've got little mermaid sequins and tiny little sakura flowers going on in there, and even little gold balls. So this is my plan. My plan is I'm going to use double-sided tape, because if you look at it, it's ruched because this is reasonably full. Not too full that it's extremely heavy. And my double-sided tape is going to go down and hopefully hold all the outer edge smooth and flat. That's how it looks in my mind. And then of course the frame will go there on top and be fastened down with double-sided adhesive tape, and I'm going to end up with a slight bulge. Now the air bubble is really important in there because it allows everything to move. So the plan is to do that, and then with my cute little ocean critters, they're just going to be dotted around on the top. So now you've seen my bit of insanity for the day, and we don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm going to do some colouring. Right, so blending this. Because I've already got the colour of the ocean there, really what I want is sand, and I think I do want it to come a bit above, because when I pick my pouch up, it kind of, you know, shake all your bits down, and it's presented, you can see that most of your water is down there, and it's kind of, it's half and half. So I want a little bit of sand above my water line. Yeah. It's like being at nursery school, isn't it? It's great. Right, antique linen. And these are oxides that I'm using because I just want, you know, totally saturated colour. I'm just picking some up. I hope you can see that. And you haven't got to be, you know, totally perfect with this. It is, you know, for the most part, being hidden behind a panel of water. I'm going to take that up, pick some more up. There, so I think that, you know, you're going to get a fair bit of sand beneath the sky. And I want it a little bit wispy. There. So you can see that's basically how much I've got left going on there. So that is going to be my sand, and then we need the sky. And me being me, I didn't get any kitchen paper, so I'm going to quickly pause so I can clean my mat before I go in with my mermaid lagoon. Back in a second. Right, so I've got a little bit of my yuck up there, and now we need mermaid lagoon, which is this one here. Just going to take this one off. Just drop that out. Screw my lid on. Put my antique linen back. Just pop that off into there. I might need some new Velcros for my blending foams. I've had them for years. Not the blending foams, the blending tools. I've got one of those big rotating stands that they're all on. Right, get any bits off that are there. Going into the mermaid lagoon, and I just want to be kind of like generous off the edge of it and then blend it down. So I want to get quite wispy. I know I'm being quiet. Right. I think that'll do for me. Drag that down, get any bits off. So now we've got a very vivid kind of sky and sand going on. And so far, all is looking well. I'm just moving those out of the way. And now I'm going to bring in my panel and have a look. So let's give that a shake down. Obviously, when it's flat, it's going to look like that. But when somebody takes it out of the envelope, so we haven't got the frame on yet, let's get that a bit more straight. I hope you can see that. You've got a little bit of sand going on just above your sea, and the sky is a little bit darker than your water. Now, of course, all of those gubbins, the workings, is going to be hidden behind that. So we're more sand and sea, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to say anything good at the moment. I might curse myself. Right, so this needs to dry. And while that is drying, I'm coming back in with my little squirty bottle. Just put a bit on the mat and get that up. Then I haven't actually die cut my little ocean creatures yet, so I'm going to have to run off and do that in a minute. But onto here, onto the back, on a food saver bag, you get this really checkered pattern on the back, and then it's smooth and clear on the front. So onto my checkered side, I'm going to call it, my textured side, that's where I'm going to put my double-sided adhesive. And I don't want to go right to the edge, just in case my pouch is too big and I need to trim some off. I don't want to be losing any adhesive doing that. So you want to go just a fraction shy of the edge. Put some more on here. Whoops. Let's go there. And up to there. Right, I'm going to carry putting on tape and I'll be right back. Right, so all of the tape is all the way around and I'm going to just carefully peel that off. Now, I did give it a good rub down with my fingers to make sure, you know, that it's adhered onto there. So we're just getting all of that off. Whoops. There we go. Now I'm going to have to stand up for this bit because, of course, I do want to get my pouch correctly onto my base. So I'm just picking that up and putting my base down. I hope you can see that. So we've got our lovely sand and sea. Make sure you get rid of any bits of fluff in your background because it's about to get sealed. Right, now I'm going to hold this so that I'm right down there at the bottom, and as I said, any excess that may or may not hang out I can deal with. I'm just going to hold that up there while I smooth this. Because you don't want any creases or bubbles. Right. So I've got that stuck down and I need to smooth it. And of course the next thing, I'm going to have to glue these two frames together, and that is going to go there. Now you can actually see my seam line. I can do something with that actually. I can run off and cut some clouds and pop them along the top of the frame just to hide anything. But it's, like I say, it's the first time I've ever done this, so it's a good learning experience to be able to either use anything that you can see that you don't really want to see, or to be able to learn to adjust any pouch or anything that you might make in the future. So essentially that is going to be the card. Right, so I need to get my Dollar Tree glue now that I've got my base, so you can see that. It's really cute. I like that. Can you imagine a child getting that in the post? I mean, hopefully if it went in a box, it certainly wouldn't burst because the seals on these are really good. And Dollar Tree glue, and this is all that I'm using. I'm going to make sure that it's got a good flow on it and it's not all blocked up, which it is. So I'm going to have to run off and find a needle. Right, so I need to go and poke my bottle, but I'll be right back because it's just really easy. It's just gluing the blue one on top of the white one so that it makes it a little bit more sturdy, and I'll be right back. Right, so what I've done is, all I've done is glue the white one underneath the blue glitter piece, and that is going to fit onto there. So I'm just going to run off and put some double-sided tape onto the back of this, and I'll be right back. Right, so I've got double-sided tape on here and I'm going to peel it all off, and in a second I'm going to have to stand up again so that I can see where exactly I'm putting the frame. Right, so I'm standing and I'm going to start with the bottom corner and if you get it wrong, just know that you're putting, you know, sort of plastic to plastic so that you can peel it up. And anything that doesn't look right can always be trimmed off after. So you want to get it flat so that the pouch is what bulges forward. I think that's relatively straight. I'm sitting down again. So there's our card panel, and if you give that a good shake, you can actually knock quite a few of those sequins down there. You can see sand, and your sky, of course, is darker than the water. I just think that's awesome. I really didn't think that was going to work. So now I'm just going to run away and cut those sea creatures and get my Touch 5 markers out and do some colouring. Right, straight back. Right, so I've been off and I've done my die cutting and I've cut them all in white cardstock. Now, they do come with eyes, but I'm not going to use those, so I'm going to get rid of them. I just put them there to show you. I'm going to use my flat backs, which is what I love to use for my critters. And if you're new to my channel, I only ever use two sizes. I use the 4mm flat back and I use the 1.5mm. And if I take the lid off without dropping them everywhere, you can see tiny little black dots, but I'm going to be using the 4mm today. So I'm just going to put those to one side. Now on the website, these are done in pink and lemon. I'm going to try and stick with that colour theme. And I'm using Touch 5 markers in rose pink, pale cherry, I don't know if it's going to show, and pale yellow. So those are the three colours that I'm using. And the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is the octopus, because the octopus is all in pink. So I'm going to go in with pale pink first. That's my little trim for my jellyfish. And I'm just going to colour it in. So pale pink. I do love my Touch 5 markers. And I love that you can buy them in individual colours. So as you start to find which ones are your favourites and you start running out, you can replace them as individual pens. So he's got some really sweet little features. So I'm going to put some shadow in underneath his hers tentacles. I'm just going to sweep that along there. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, your colouring can be as difficult as you want it to be. And people have said to me, why is it you don't buy Copics? And I'll explain. Copics are absolutely gorgeous pens. I do have a couple. And when I say a couple, maybe 12 at the most. And to be honest, I can't really afford Copics. And not having Copics doesn't bother me because there is not a single alcohol ink marker on the market. It doesn't matter which one you use that is light fast. They're just not. So if my artwork isn't going to last forever, what is the point of me spending, you know, thousands of dollars on a colouring medium that's just not going to last? But for temporary things like making, you know, little cards and stuff, and it's absolutely fine. Right, so I've blended that back in, and I am going to put a bit of shading up on the head. It's going to go around, put that little bit in there, because if my memory serves me right, they are quite, you know, sort of like watercoloured looking on the page on Eiffel store. So yeah, I might even go a little bit darker. But as I was saying, you know, you can spend as much money as you want to on colouring, but none of it is light fast, and that's basically why I refuse to spend the money. And I've got 100 and I think, is it 180 pens or 280 pens in the Touch 5, and I'm quite happy with that. Right, I'm going to run away and colour my others, but you've just seen me do the octopus, and everything else is going to be coloured very similar. But I am going to stick 2 eyes onto him or her, whichever you want it to be. And so I've got 2 there. They're quite big eyes, but, you know, googly eyes on something cute is okay. So I'm going to squeeze this out. Put that down on there. And then I'm going to use my pickup tool, which I've had for years. It is absolutely on its last legs now, but I do have many others. But can you see? Nice big googly eyes of cuteness. Right, I'm going to run away, colour these in, and I'll be right back. Right, so all of my critters are now coloured in, and they've got their 4mm flatbacks for their eyes, except of course for the jellyfish, and that's just got a little white frill on it. So just kind of close up on those. If you look at Mr. Octopus, he's just got a sort of like watercolory effect, bit of shading. So all of these now need to go onto the water panel. I've already put just a little bit of double-sided adhesive tape on them. So what I'm going to do is just move them gently out of the way and take away my scruffy mat so that we've got a better background to have a look. There's the cards panel, and then just decide where we want them. Now, I quite like the idea of my octopus, which has got a lot of space on it for, you know, squidging around if anyone's going to play with it. So I think my octopus is going to go about there. So just a small amount of tape, and I'm hoping my fingernails will get under it. She says, wishful thinking. Nope. I'm going to give that an extra squeeze. I have got quite a little bit of humidity here today. Right, so peeled the back off octopus, and yeah, I'm going to go, where am I going to go? Am I going higher? Or am I going lower? I'm going to go there. Yeah, there we are. I am now committed. And my cute little chubbly seahorse, hopefully I can get the back off that. No, having the same problem again. I don't know what your weather's like where you are, but we've been going through drought, through to rain. Right, so the back's off there, and I might go slightly off edge, stick with it. No, I'm going to go there. So that's where I'm going with my seahorse. And the reason for only having the bit of tape is because if you look at the pouch, it's got a slight bulge. So you don't want to sort of like fix something down completely flat, otherwise you're going to distort it. And now next up is my little crab, which is going to go down in the corner. Same thing again, humidity on the tape. I'm trying. Whoops. No, that piece just doesn't want to lift up at all. Now I'm going off to try in the other corner. Right, got that. And looking at this here, I think I'm going to go a little bit off edge there too. So Krabby's fixed down. And then just the tiny, tiny little jellyfish. I was just about to call it a starfish. But sometimes, you know, tape and humidity just don't go well together. There we go. And I think I'm going to go there. Yeah, look at that. It's finished. That was great fun. I'm glad that actually worked out. And I think whoever gets that is going to have some nice fun with it. Because when they're standing it up, I will put an easel onto the back of this. They're going to see just that little bit of sand just above. And I will try and get a good photo of this to use as the front image for the video. But I do thank you so much for watching. Happy 4th once again, and up again tomorrow with Eiffel store and using a mermaid and a house. Try and create a different scene. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be using my own haul that I shared last week. Right. You have an absolutely awesome day. And as usual, all links below. Bye.